What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So in today's video we're going to be reacting, so let's get it. Okay guys, so let's get started by watching the video.
If you've ever been on Gorilla Tag recently, a common thing you've likely heard from OG players is that old Gorilla Tag is better than the current version we have today. And sure, while there is a lot more content like new maps and mechanics these days, this debate of it all being worse than the old stuff has become more and more relevant lately, which honestly got me thinking, is Gorilla Tag really not as good as it used to be? Or are we just getting blinded by our own nostalgia? I think it's about time we take a look at this discussion in order to figure out why Gorilla Tag doesn't feel the same anymore. But first, let's take a trip back in time to check out the old Gorilla Tag and see if it's as good as some players remember it being. So this is an early version of Gorilla Tag, and right off the bat, you could probably tell there wasn't as much content here when compared to what we have today. There were no cosmetics, no fancy mechanics like swimming or gliding, and there were fewer maps out at the time. Yet despite the fact that we had less to go off of, what we already had was enough for us to have fun in this game. Whenever I looked back at the times I've played this game early on, I've noticed that everything, from the obstacles to literal pixel graphics, were much simpler and more laid back then. And this simple nature definitely allowed me and some of the other players to just focus on having fun, playing a game that led us to reject humanity and return to monkey. And even if we got bored of the same old games of tag here and there was always something to talk about regarding this game to each other. Like, what's behind Secret Tunnel? Do we even eat food or drink water in this game? And probably the greatest question of them all, how many whacks in game will it take to get to the center of my Quest controller? I'm not joking with y'all, those basic experiences we've had really gave us that special feeling of wonder and mystery about the game. So to say that us players were excited to see that outcome would be a bit of an understatement. Then over time, Gorilla Tag did eventually get more updates with various new features. Although, now that I'm thinking about it, these changes did come with a price. One that made us sacrifice that simple feeling Gorilla Tag out on all of us beforehand. And now, the game just feels more complex and different from before. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but with Gorilla Tag growing over the years, it's hard to find those same experiences many older players had, since the place we had those memories changed so much over time. And it really shows, since nowadays, I've ended up seeing countless videos popping up where people talked about their nostalgia for the old versions of Gorilla Tag. Even though there's various updates releasing every month or so, people keep looking back to the good old days as if there isn't anything else for them to do in-game, and I don't think that's gonna stop anytime soon. Speaking of videos, I think that content creation also changed a lot over the years, just like the game itself. But you might be wondering, why am I bringing up content creation specifically? Well, I see a bit of a connection between the two. I mean, even when the game first released, it was obvious that Gorilla Tag was that kind of game that could be partially carried by content creation alongside updates. Whether it was gameplay content, horror videos, or even little skits here and there was just something about people posting their experiences or their ideas out there online that just made the game a little more special to me personally. But as I already mentioned, the game has changed a lot over the years, and thus, it only makes sense that content around the game would follow suit. And I already know many of you are gonna say that that's a good thing. I agree. New ideas and new content in general are always a treat to see. However, I can't help but notice that I just keep seeing the same stuff from years ago continuously being milked to no end today, like ghost hunting. Honestly, it just makes those kind of videos more dull to watch today, and I think I know the reason why. It's almost like watching a movie in a way. You see, if someone were to go see something, say a new movie they've never seen before, and they end up liking it a lot, it might captivate them in a way. But there does come a point where that feeling goes away after you see that movie over and over again. And I think this applies to Gorilla Tag content as well. After seeing the same stuff pop up online so much, it just doesn't feel the same anymore. Not to me, not to you, and probably not to most of the community now. So whenever some new content does appear to us, even if it's different, it may end up reigniting that same feeling we all had a while back on the silly little monkey game. But the sad truth about all this new stuff is that it's all new. It's not going to be the same as the old stuff, and the old stuff we've seen a long time ago isn't going to give us the same feeling as before, which might explain why I keep seeing so many people look back to their memories for said feelings. I mean, just look at how many comments there are for this kind of stuff. Wait, why are there so many of them anyways? Huh, who would have thought that as a game and its online presence continues to grow, the community would do the same? Well, Gorilla Tag is no exception. The community for this game has really changed over the years. Like, if I was going off memory here, I remember there being a lot of older players in their late teens to young adult ages back then. Things were a lot chiller between everyone back then, and there were way less people too. But after the peaceful times went by for Gorilla Tag, there was one single event that ended up changing the landscape of the community forever. Christmas. I swear, bro, ever since that day passed by, everything changed with the player base. Like, half the people in the game were new now, a lot of them younger than before, and it was just a lot of chaos playing this game around this time. Like, especially since a few of those newcomers that came in ended up becoming really toxic to everyone else. And I think we all know where this is going, so let's just skip to the end. Well, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I miss the old community. I miss the times where I wasn't getting cussed out by 6-year-olds on the daily. The times where everyone wasn't getting into drama every week. The times where we could just go into a virtual world where tag is the norm and just relax from everything else. Since the fact that the now sort of toxic community formed this quickly is honestly crazy. And I'm worried if it's only gonna get worse from here in the near future. Okay, throughout this video so far, I've just been rambling about what changed about Gorilla Tag over the years, and why it's inherently bad for the game as a whole. But I feel like this whole discussion shouldn't be a matter of why one version of a monkey game is better than another, since after all, we all knew that this game was going to evolve at some point, just like everything else in life. And while this did come with a few downsides that I've already mentioned, there are a lot of good things that also came from this change. Like, the new content did bring in new life to the game, and made the game a lot more fun to many of us. The new style of content creation also brings out more of the game, and the ever-growing community just lets more people experience this amazing game in general. Gorilla Tag shouldn't stay the same, and innovation will always be more important than pandering to nostalgic memories in the gaming world, since nostalgia is just nostalgia if we're being real at the end of the day. However, I'm not gonna stand here and act like the downsides aren't a problem to many of us nowadays, cause why else would I have spent most of the video talking about them? So I want to hope you guys continue enjoying the game if that's what you're after. But first, let's finally answer the question, why doesn't Gorilla Tag feel the same anymore? Well, it's due to the fact that the game has physically changed over its various updates, the content surrounding it online evolved as well, the community has and is still continuing to grow to this day, and lastly, you have probably changed, and that's why it's all different now. Now, how can we still find enjoyment out of this game, even with its changes? Well, first off, if you're tired of doing the same stuff in game, find something else to do. Maybe you're just bored of the competitive scene and want some more interaction with other players. Maybe you just want to get out of the toxicity and play with the game a little more. But if you're just tired of Gorilla Tag as a whole, just take a break. I know that sounds corny, but spending time away from the game will probably make it feel better if you decide to come back after some time. So just take some time off if you need to and come back later. Or don't. I'm not forcing you what to do. I'm not your parents. Like, I'm just a random dude talking about a monkey game online. Now, if you liked me talking about this sort of stuff, you should check out some of my other recent videos, or maybe even check out my Discord for upcoming projects. Thanks for watching, and I hope you'll have a great day.
This video was fun to react to, but anyways guys, if we get around to 2,000 subscribers on YouTube, then I'll be getting the Steam frame. That's right guys. And also please make sure you go like and subscribe and comment down below so I can drop my merch. But yeah, anyways, peace out.
So bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush.